pensioners are most likely to be victims to romance fraud, with the average loss being £12,000, research showed. On BBC Money Box, Adam called in to explain how his father fell victim to this growing scam. The team at Moneybox helped Adam and his father James recover £150,000 from his bank, which had initially refused to refund him. Whilst James was caring for his dying wife, he was targeted, groomed and tricked into sending £153,000 to a scammer. The transactions were made in dozens of large payments to a scammer purporting to be a woman in America who was the victim of domestic abuse and had large medical bills. But none of this was true. When Adam found out what his dad had been doing, he called the police. Action Fraud and Lloyds, their bank, straight away. Unfortunately, Adam was told that James would not be able to get his money back, as it was stolen by a criminal overseas, meaning there was no regulation. The victim's family were told that a voluntary code, known as the Contingent Reimbursement Model or CRM, designed to protect victims of fraud would not apply in their case, because the payments had been made to an international bank account. Adam said, "Upon getting the news from Lloyds the next day, I felt gut punched. I felt sick. All this money had gone and there was no way to get it back. There's no cover. Fraud is fraud. If British pounds were taken, why should it matter where the money goes? I just couldn't fathom why there was such a difference on whether the money is offshore or in the UK. Moneybox found that the CRM code does not cover victims if criminals use foreign bank accounts to steal money. Despite Lloyds putting safety measures in place to protect James, he still went ahead to make the transactions to the criminals. Lloyds Bank had blocked several suspicious transactions and warned James that things did not look right. They even called him into his local branch to warn him to his face. But the criminal was too persuasive, and James felt he was doing the right thing by helping the woman, although it was actually a scam. Adam did agree that there was not much else Lloyds could have done to prevent the fraud. However, he believes there should be no loopholes within the code, which can stop vulnerable people from getting their money back. Even though James' case was not conducted under the code, Lloyds conducted a further review and were able to issue a full refund. Adam said, "It was a huge relief off my shoulders. I felt a huge sense of responsibility to get a good result, as he is in ill health, and the relief was indescribable due to the complexities of the case and James' situation and vulnerability at the time. The bank was able to issue him a refund." Worryingly, according to new research from Lloyds Bank, romance scams increased by 30% last year, and victims lost £8,234 on average, slightly less than last year, which saw victims losing around £8,655. The data shows that men now make up the majority of reported cases at 53%. The southeast of England was a particular hotspot, as relative to population size, the number of victims was around 15% higher than the national average. Today, individuals between 65 and 74 were the most likely to be scammed into sending money to fraudsters. They lost just over £12,000 on average, according to the research. On their website, it states, "As a rule of thumb, we strongly discourage anyone from transferring money to someone they have not met in person. After all, there are no limits to the depths a scammer would sink to get what they want. If they sense a chance to pull on your heartstrings with excuses such as family issues, business problems, or even medical bills, they won't hesitate, especially if they know these issues are close to your heart." Naturally, we also advise that customers never share their banking details online. And should you be asked to transfer money quickly, take time to step back and examine the situation. If the person asking for the cash were truly someone you could trust, they wouldn't attempt to rush you into transferring any money, no matter how small the sum. Perhaps let a trusted friend know what's going on and seek their advice. A Lloyds Bank spokesperson said, "We understand that falling victim to fraud is a distressing and upsetting experience. When it comes to romance scams, fraudsters prey on victims who think they are in a genuine relationship, despite not meeting in real life. If you've started an online relationship and the discussion moves to money, this should be a big red flag. You are about to get scammed. Remember to never send money without verifying who you are sending it to, and to pay attention to any warnings provided by your bank. Taking time to chat with a real-life friend or family member is also a good way to get a second opinion.